Palmistry reading of a 25-year-old person wanting to know about his career prospects and his health. These are the two main criteria he wished to basically know. Before I start my video, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can call me or you can email me to get a reading from me. These are the email and the phone number that are mentioned out here. And now we straight away head to this particular hand reading of this particular person. So the first appearances that you would gather out here is that there are too many lines all over the palm. Generally, many people have got less lines. These are the important lines. Generally, people have the heart line, the headline, then the lifeline. These are the general people have, but and this is the money line or the sun line. But these girdle of Venus is not present in almost all people's hand. Then there are few crisscrossing lines over the palm. These are basically not seen in almost all the palms. So it is better to have the lesser the lines, the better it is considered to be. And more the lines, more the like problems that might arise in a person's life. So let us take it from the point of view of a person's career. Let's take first thing is regarding the career. For career, people think that money line is the most important line to refer to. But apart from money line, we would be talking about other aspects. And each and every line can tell about a career prospect. So first, we are going to be looking at the headline. So this is basically the headline that I've drawn. You would notice that on the headline, before like this intersection, the money line and the head intersection, somewhere at this intersection, the age is 35. So this portion of the headline is before the age of 35. You would notice on this particular portion on the headline that there are few disturbances that we can see on the headline. There's an island-like formations on the headline. There's a break-like formation also that is taking place out here. So this portion of the headline becomes a little bit unclear and it is a little bit erratic also. So if our headline becomes becomes difficult to comprehend, it's like kind of a line has to follow a particular path all throughout his life. It has to like be very predictable kind of a thing. But if there is a break like formation, you'd see a break like formation on the headline somewhere close to the person that the person is traveling right now, the period, like this portion of his life, we can see with certainty that there could be some issues. And because it's seen on the headline, it could be mental issues as well that can arise. But it might not be always mental kind of issues. It could be just some kind of depressive tendencies, or it could also mean because this portion of the headline is a little bit unpredictable during this particular period under the finger of Saturn. So Saturn is basically for money, possessions, wealth, and it is also for loneliness. And an island under it is basically indicative of loneliness in the mind. So this is what it represents. And the break could also mean few disturbances. But as the line progresses, you'd notice that the line becomes very predictable and very strong. So on the headline itself, we can see problems as well as success in a person's life. From the time when the line of head becomes very predictable, you would notice that the line has become very sharp, deep, and clear, and without any wave-like formation. Like there's a wave-like formation during this particular period, the period that the person is traveling in. The person right now is age 35. That's the approximate age he has told me. So this portion of his mental outlook shows few disturbances, but it's going to basically pass away. A headline that is strong basically brings a person out of problems. The headline is very straight. So straight headlines makes a person very practical by nature, and because it shows strength, so mental, it shows also mental strength. So if a person is showing mental strength during a particular period in one's life, so it means that the things are happening predictable. He is able to manage that mental stress and come out of his problem. So this is what is represented by a strong headline. But now we are going to take a look at the heart line. The heart line is kind of ending somewhere close to the Mount of Saturn. This portion is considered to be good because the heart line that ends under the Mount of Saturn, those people are able to accumulate money and wealth in their life because their inclination is towards money. Because Saturn depicts money, money management, wisdom, responsibility, all these things come from Saturn. But at the same time, you would also notice that the heartline has got few drooping like branches from the heartline and drooping towards the headline. This is the headline. So, and there are few branches here as well. So, the each and every line, they should be deep and clear. If there are many branches and that too hanging down below towards the base of the palm, this is the base of the palm. So those are basically negative lines. Any line moving towards the finger, if there was a line moving towards the finger from the heart line, that would have been considered a good line. Drooping lines are kind of stress and anxiety playing out in a person's life. It is something like this is the physical heart, and there are few branches that are hanging onto the heart, and there's also weight hanging onto the branch that is hanging onto the heart. So this is the heart line, and the branch is hanging downwards. And these branches are comparatively, these are not very weak branches. So the amount of stress they exert downward is going to be much more. So this is a comparatively negative sign. What it also does is that it brings in anxiety and stress. What it also does is that it kind of distracts the particular person. See, try to understand what the heart line is. Each and every line, consider them to be river. Okay, so this is the heart line. If the heart line was very singular kind, deep and clear, without any branches, then it would mean that the person is focused and practices detachment. Detachment is what Bhagavad Gita says, being in a moment without having expectation of the outcome. But these branches, what it does, it brings in attachments. It is the opposite of detachment. Detachment does not mean detaching yourself from your family members or detaching yourself from all the worldly things. Detachment means being in the moment. That's the ultimate thing where you are able to focus on your field of work and achieve success. So this person kind of gets distracted, kind of distracted in terms of relationship as well as in the particular person's work as well. So it is advised that the person remains focused. Focus brings success. So this is what I would, my main suggestion would be to him would be to remain focused and do not fall for temptation. These branches means falling for temptations. Temptations can be a relationship temptation, or it could be temptation towards probably it could be temptation towards let's say some other field of work. Let's supposing he's doing extremely good in his work, but what happens is that another person comes up and suggests that try out a different thing. So this person is likely to take up that different kind of a theme. So whatever he has put his energies into, he might those things might go for a waste. So it is also said that these branches means carrying the extra baggage of the past. In the past, we might have many disappointments. So people who carry those disappointments as they grow older. So what's going to happen is they are going to get tired. Their heart is going to get tired, and then the person is going to lose hope and lose strength. So my suggestion to him would be to remain focused. The second aspect is that this is the heart line, and apart from this heart line, there are sister lines that you see. These are horizontal lines running parallel to the line of heart. This is the line of heart, and these are the lines that are running parallel to the line of heart. See, any line running parallel to the heart would become a sister line. It's better not to have these lines because what it does is that it makes a person hyper, uncontrolled emotions. When the person is happy, extremely happy. When the person is sad, the person is extremely sad. So the emotions are going zigzag. up and down, up and down, up and down. So it is people who are successful, they are able to contain their emotions and look at a situation in a very, very cool way. But this person is likely to get hyper. See, everything has got its benefits and its a negative points as well. Each and every line has a positive as well as a negative aspect as well. So the negative aspect, I've told you that it may make a person very emotional, hyper, uncontrolled emotions, but at the same time, the emotions that the person might display are going to be extremely unique. If a person is in photography, let's assume the person is into photography or something else, the person could be a very, very interesting kind of a person. But at the same time, in day-to-day life, these people are going to feel the pressures, feel the pressures because they are not normal. They're kind of a little bit different from others. So they could be extremely interesting, but stability in emotions might not be as prominent as it could be where there is just a single line of heart without any sister lines of the heart. Now we come to the other aspect, that is the sun line. Uh, the sunline timings I'm just going to depict on the hand image. This is the headline that I've just drawn, and this is the sunline, and there's another sunline, and there's another sunline. There are three patterns. So one is before the age of 35, it is comparatively not so strong. Then another one develops somewhere close to the age. So if the intersection of the sunline and the headline is age 35, this is age 35, and the intersection of the heartline and the sunline is age 53. So somewhere before the age of 53, somewhere, because this age is 35, so let's say that this point where the second sunline starts is close to age 38, 39. That's the time. It's fairly strong. And then the third line that we see is the best. This is after the age of 53, approximately after, at the age of, let's say, 55 or so. So there are three kinds of sunline that are present. So in the earlier period before the age of 35, the line is not so deep and clear. Then there's clarity that comes to the sunline somewhere close to 38 or so, and it is very prominent till the age of 56, 57. Another one develops somewhere close to 55 or so. So it's not that each and every line would mean different field of work. It might not be so. It could just mean the level of energy levels that we are giving to our work. A strong line that we see beyond 30, 37, 38, this is strong. So it means that the person is giving good amount of energies to their work. It's this line that we see, the second line, it's kind of pointing from the area of Mars, positive area. This is the outer Mars. This is basically the area of coolness and calmness. So the line that comes from the area of originates from close to the area of Mars positive give these qualities of coolness, calmness, and tenacity. Tenacity is, in spite of oppositions, the person basically stands out. So this is what it is represented. Now, so this is what the sun line is represented. So there are few crisscrossing lines also out here. It's forming kind of a star. I would say that it is best to have the least amount of lines, a simple kind of a area that brings in better result than even out here. So crossing over of lines bring in few problems, but because the strength of the main sun line is strong, the chances basically brighten up that even after this crossing over of lines, it would not have any major negative impact. So we have to look at the quality of the line. If the main line remains intact, the chances of success basically increases. Now there's another aspect that we need to look at is we have to look at the technical skill line. Now the technical skill line is just found under the finger of Mercury. This is the area where it is found, and it is Mercury finger is the shortest finger in the hand, and it is in comparison to the other people. I find that this finger is appearing to be crossing over the top line of the sun finger. So the longer the line, the better it is considered to be. Although it is the shortest finger in every person's hand, but it should be long, then brings in more quality of Mercury, and Mercury is communication skills, technical skills, business skills, oratory skills, writing skills, and many other skills. It could be engineering, medical, business, or any kind of skills. My advice to him would be to remain whatever the person chooses now. He should remain committed to that particular field of area. That's when more success is going to come. The break on the headline out here that I missed out one thing, that the person should take care of their stomach, and stomach needs much more care. That would be my advice to them. And they should kind of control their anger as well, because there are many lines over the mount of Mars negative. This is Mars negative. There are few horizontal lines that are going and touching the headline, and what it does is, if there are too many lines over the Mars negative area or in the center of the palm, so what happens is that it brings about the temper. The person might lose his temper, or the person might get angry over wrong issues. Now, I'm just going to take a brief look at the left hand as well, just for a brief moment. See, left hand is the hand of past, right hand is the hand of present, left is passive hand, right is active hand. So this is how we basically go about. And but we do not ignore the left hand. Whatever things that are seen in the left hand does play out in our life as well. So we do not ignore. So there is lots of similarity in the left and the right. Same kind of horizontal kind of lines can be seen. This is called the Girdle of Venus. Some people say Girdle of Venus is something only out here, but I consider these lines running parallel all to be the Girdle of Venus. This is a disturbed Girdle of Venus, which makes us hyper. We might have unrealistic fantasies. We might be interesting the person, but still, it makes it kind of disturbs. And the heart line out here also is not so deep and clear. So anxiety and stress is there. My advice would be to him would be to make his life very regimented. The more the regimented kind of a line, the better his life is going to become. Try to remove all the stimuli, like I would go to the extent of even like telling him, if newspaper does not bring like is if like if there's something useful to read in the newspaper, do read. If there's something useful to see in the news, try to see it if it is bringing you benefit. But if it is not bringing you benefit, try to stay away even from news, even from any stimuli, and remain focused. Focus is basically necessary in his case. And there's an upward line from the, this is the headline, lifeline, this is the headline, there's an upward line pointing towards the Mount of Jupiter. This is a good line. This basically takes a person to a high position in one's life. And Jupiter is a big planet. Big planet means growth and expansion in one's life. So it's a positive thing. These upward lines, people who have these upward lines kind of reach to a high position in their life, and they are honor seeking. Because they are honor seeking, they move their life towards that particular direction. Because they move their lives towards that particular direction, that's why they get more. So this line is not necessarily only that they would be getting success in the later period. This could have come in the earlier period as well. So this is what it represents. You would notice that this is the headline and the lifeline. So it's not so clear in the earlier period. So so health related issues could have been there right from the early childhood. And here too we find that headline is kind of not so clear. So headline should be extremely clear. You would also notice that on the lifeline, this is the lifeline, there are few downward kind of lines that are pointing towards the base of the palm. These are negative kinds of lines, because downward kind of lines seen in the early period of our life or even in the late period of our life are negative signs. It kind of bring either financial loss, or it could bring about health loss. It could be either way. But at the same time, what we can see, the positive aspect in this particular hand is that this is the lifeline, and apart from this lifeline, you would notice another line that is running parallel out here. There are two or three lines that are running parallel to the main lifeline. See, many people, what they have is they might have, everybody has a generally a lifeline, but not many people have got a long lifeline, a long supporting lifeline, or a guardian angel line, or the Mars line. So this is not what many people might have, a long supporting Mars line. So a long supporting Mars line kind of supports your health. It also makes, because it starts on the mount of Mars negative. So Mars negative is basically, it's just the name. So Mars negative is the area for aggression and fire. This is the fire within us. It is the fighting spirit within us. It is the spark within us. So even when you have a problem on your lifeline, this supporting lifeline kind of catapults you out of the trouble, because in your car, if the spark plug goes bad, everything goes bad. Even the best of car is not going to start. But if the spark plug are good, so this line is basically the spark plug. So the spark plug are good. That's the reason why things are going to remain good in a person's life, and the person would have that fighting spirit within him. Send of the palm 20 lines. So temper could be loose, anxiety prone. So my advice to him would be to remain cool and calm, and not get hyper. Do yoga, do meditation. This would be my my advice to him. And now I just take a look at the right hand for one more time. And as we had seen in the left hand, we also see the same kind of indications on the right hand as well. So this is basically out here. It's a very confusing kind of a lifeline, and these are supporting lifelines that also can be seen. So supporting lifeline protects the person. It is kind of a armor around the particular person. So this is what I can say. The person also has got a reasonably strong Mercury line. Mercury line basically means skill. People who have a standing perpendicular kind of a line on the mount of Mercury has got good set of skills. And one strange kind of a line can be seen. It is kind of branching upward on the mount of Mercury, and there's a going a little bit downward. So this line can be considered to be good. It could mean skills could be a major thing in his life. And that's it. And rest I would be talking to you. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, do click on the like button and press the bell icon. People want to know about money, possessions, and wealth. We can come to know about money from almost all possible aspects of the palm, the heart, head, life, sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other line can tell about our money. Money line in itself can tell only limited, only 15% in terms of money. So money line is of lesser importance. It is the overall hand that plays a major role in our life, not one aspect. A saint once said, "You do not need to go to an astrologer or palmist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is a result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you're doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. Company is of prime importance, because even if a person has got the best of hand, things might not apply, things might not be good, because he has got bad company. But a person who has got very good company, even if the hand shows every wrong aspect, even then those negative aspects might not apply. So company is the most important aspect. Thanks for watching. Bye and take care.